About a week ago, CS2 got a big update, and as it usually happens with Valve games, this update revealed hidden files and hints about future updates in the Source 2 engine and other Valve projects. In this video, we'll focus only on CS-related changes like new maps, gameplay features, game modes, a bit about anti-cheat, and some weird cosmetic items. But while you have time, check out Skins Monkey. Use code GABEN and get up to a $5 bonus. Select a few of your current skins, pick a new one in the same price range, and exchange your old and ugly CSGO items to something new and shiny from Counter-Strike 2. Use code GABEN and buy skins much cheaper with a 30 plus 5% top-up bonus. Skins Monkey, links and my code down below. In early October of 2024, a major update introduced the Armory, which effectively became the replacement for operations and seasonal passes. Alongside it, the developers made several important improvements to networking, the animation system, and a few other engine updates. Unfortunately, this also led to a lot of problems and bugs, which instantly started appearing on Reddit. After a little while, a Valve developer joined one of these discussions to explain the possible reasons and also shared some information about their future plans. One of them was to move the animation system to a new version because the old one used far more network bandwidth than necessary and wasn't optimized for multiplayer projects. Anim Graph 2 is an upgraded version of the animation graph from the Esoterica engine. Valve hired its creator in 2022 after a decade of experience in the gaming industry. At first, Anim Graph 2 was only used in Deadlock, but recently the developers announced that they started the same process in Counter-Strike 2. People had mixed feelings about new weapon animations and some of them obviously need work, but I think that's fine cause the focus here are long-term improvements and possible optimization of the netcode. Once again, the process has just started and things should get better over time. At the same time, they broke B-Hop but started fixing it almost immediately and it feels way better now. Previous updates also included improvements for the hit prediction system, which once again speaks of the devs' intentions to fix the game despite initial problems and the challenges of switching to a new engine. The update before this one started a new Premier season, replaced Anubis with Overpass in the competitive map pool, slightly nerfed the MP9 and made an interesting change to the economy. Now, after killing a T, each CT gets $50, so up to a max bonus of $250. And honestly, it's a neat way to balance the switch from MR15 to 12 rounds. Now let's get to the more interesting finds. Recently, the devs paid attention to something you wouldn't expect. Usually, Valve doesn't care about community content or custom game modes, but for some reason, in the latest major update, they added a sound system tied to movement speed in surf mode. Basically, if a player reaches a certain sliding speed, he hears the sound of rushing wind, which becomes louder and changes as you accelerate. This is quite interesting considering the test scripts for an official surf mode that have been sitting in the game files since the very first CS2 beta. At the same time, they continue getting rid of old references to story elements and co-op modes. In theory, it might be a process of refactoring the code and scripts, but looking at how Valve is slowly moving away from the concept of operations, I think CS will move more and more toward a standardized permanent battle pass, which is basically current Armory. That said, right next to weekly missions, there's also a mention of another type for operation quests. We have no clue how it will work, but potentially it could mean actual seasonal events with passes you buy on top of the Armory. On that note, there's a mention of a new system for bidding items with your XP or stars. Everything I'm about to say is straight from the game files, none of it was revealed to me in a dream. Technically, it's something like a secret auction. From time to time, a limited, extremely rare item will appear in the Armory that can be bought for a fixed price. Players can bid a certain number of stars and the highest bid when the timer ends gets the item. The strange part? You apparently won't see how many stars others have bid, so it's essentially a blind roulette. Even stranger, if you lose, you don't get your stars back and they are gone. However, you can cancel your bid before the timer runs out to actually get them back. And apparently, if you already own the auction item, you can't participate again, so each player can only have one. One of the rarest rewards in this auction is a chicken egg. Yes, you heard it right, an actual freaking chicken egg. Honestly, this is one of the weirdest cosmetic ideas I've ever heard. Picture this. You win the auction and get a chicken egg in your loadout. It's bound to your account and you can trade or sell it. Based on the animations, it has 3 stages. First, the egg itself, which you can inspect. Second, a small newly hatched chick you can hold and pet. And third, a fully grown chicken. When it hatches, the chicken gets a random pattern unique to your account. You can hold it, place it on the ground, feed it, and show it in your menu. Other players can also see your pet and the animations when you hold it. I swear I'm not making this up, and this is fully backed by animation scripts, model references, player attachments, code, and even a map to preview your pets. I'd guess it's like a Tamagotchi style minigame you care for and share the progress with friends, so purely a social feature with no trade or sale value, which is maybe tied to a new game mode. I'll also go out on a limb and speculate that in the future players might be able to auction their own items, so if you have a rare skin you could list it and get stars in return. A couple of months ago, one update suddenly featured cash alongside other competitive maps. Aqua quoted my tweet speculating that Valve had probably bought the rights to the map layout. Then devs liked the tweet, then FM Pwn himself confirmed it, and then Valve replied to it with a handshake emoji. The rest is history, but many expected cash to release at the start of Season 3. That obviously didn't happen, and I have a few reasons why. First, it could be related to specific agreement. The deal might not include textures, models, or visual assets, so basically just the layout. Second, related to quite a few technical problems. The geometry breaks all norms, some models have more polygons than all the characters and weapons combined, and things like cloth or trees have 100k polygons each. Judging by smart prop references for construction debris on a map called CS2 and the fact that FemPwn didn't use smart props, I suspect that fixing this would be way harder than remaking the map from scratch, which is exactly what Valve's level designers are doing right now based on all the findings. Since cash was always one of the most played maps, Valve desired to buy it for almost a decade. Map makers get daily royalties while their map is in the game, and cash was there for more than 8 years. I won't name the numbers, but the CS2 devs reportedly paid far more for cash than for Tuscan and Unused combined, each of which, according to leaks, cost 150k. For the last few years, CS2's level and environment artists have been busy with other maps, so you should definitely not expect the cash remake anytime soon. But to cheer you up, in that same update we saw new info about a snowy remake of Cobblestone. We've talked about this before, but this time there's a new material for shining snowflakes, likely for a weapon effect similar to raindrops on the Train remake. There's also a checkbox in the environment shader to enable or disable a snow layer, possibly hinting at visible snow footprints similar to Red Dead Redemption 2. It'll be interesting to see how that works in a competitive FPS, since you could literally track enemies just by looking at the ground. There are also many mentions of a map called Night Ancient, and the biggest reference is a soundscape file listing all map locations and the sounds for them. From these we know it's actually a nighttime map with rain effects similar to Train, with thunder in the background and the moon in the sky. All spots on the map have the exact same names as normal Ancient, so it's probably not a remake and just a visual overhaul. We also have actual rain materials, moon texture, thunder sounds, and much more. I kinda doubt it's related to the co-op game mode, but at the same time it's really odd to make an identical map with a different weather. My guess is that in the future we might see alternate versions of maps, like one for daytime, another for night or dawn, and then maybe some weather variations. Sounds really weird, but I'm curious to see how it will turn out in the end. So far we have proofs for 3 future maps, but I've also heard rumors about a full Tuscan remake and the beginning of work on a new Mirage. Now a quick but quite important update related to the anti-cheat. In May, players noticed a surge of blatant rage hacks, and a bit later Valve had upgraded their machine learning server hardware from H100 to the new H200s. I'm no expert, but Google and the official Nvidia website says it's a more powerful and energy efficient piece of technology. In the past, it was confirmed that it was used to train VACnet and other server-side anti-cheat modules. So with the devs improving server optimization and moving to the new animation system, let's hope we see some noticeable changes soon. Leave a comment with a sausage emoji if you've watched these